The topic for this video is to elaborate on the role of the conscious and subconscious parts of our brain, and how they interact with one another to solve our more difficult problems. This exploration will help us to find better techniques to facilitate and optimize our abilities to find the best solutions to the questions that we ask. This viewpoint is based on 60 years of personal experience in the scientific and business world. This experiential process generated 6 international American patents, graduate research to the doctorate level in physics, and numerous solutions to difficult corporate problems. I believe that we underestimate the contribution and importance that our subconscious plays during the solving of new complex problems. Expanding on that point, I believe that we underestimate the role of the subconscious in the creative process involved in solving new complex problems, and consequently may not take full advantage of that particular fact. At first that may sound silly, but in reality we delve into our subconscious more often than one might think. It is generally accessed when our conscious mind takes a break. Our subconscious mind contains all of the good stuff, our Library of Congress, so to speak, of knowledge and understanding. Unfortunately, it includes all the stuff in our head that we know to be true that just ain't so. Albert Einstein was vocal about limiting the source of stuff that he allowed his mind to absorb. His preference was to only accept verified input, rather than, as he put it, scientific gossip. He didn't want to have to deal with the problem of sorting out the good from the bad. Once something reaches your subconscious, its veracity is not challenged. Challenging is a conscious process. Most people have no way to ensure that only the stuff that is true is absorbed into their brains. Because of the fact that what we know is mostly based on information from other sources and is not tested from personal experience, we are unable to qualify the veracity of most of what is in our brains. This goes for what we read, see, and hear, as the world's media distributes whatever they like, whether it's true or not. This is a severe liability when you try to assemble a correct solution with knowledge that just ain't so. Our conscious mind is used for very important activities such as the vehicle for perceiving, for imagining, decision-making, and executing real-time intellectual processes. The imagination processes are key to initiating the chain leading to your valuable destinations. You collect the aspects of the problem from your imagination, as you understand them, and then imagine the desired outcome in the conscious part of your mind. You add a pinch of intuition to the pot, and then you let it simmer in your subconscious. This type of problem solving is an extended process that may involve the time that you sleep. The actual process begins as you concentrate visually and imagine as clearly as possible in the conscious part of your mind. This is to ensure that your subconscious will get most of what you are sending down correctly. You do this intensely for not more than a few hours. Then you do something that doesn't involve your conscious mind. Exercise, sing, dance, listen to music, play, or nap. Anything but active thinking. You repeat this process until you converge upon the solution. Many third-party management companies facilitate the creative corporate process and charge thousands per day per employee to participate in a creative process that involves a moderator. Thinking process is coupled with sophisticated play. This process facilitates the flow between the conscious and subconscious parts of the mind. The most important message for your subconscious to get right is the understanding of the goal, the endpoint, your required solution to the problem. That is what you focus on with your conscious mind. Your conscious mind sends that information to your subconscious library and workshop, where it assembles and tests for possible routes to your destination or goal. Your subconscious mind may pop up now and then and ask your conscious mind for additional information. You can now see why having a subconscious mind filled with only the truth is going to be much more productive than one filled with understanding that may or may not be true. This is the greatest impediment to finding a correct or desired solution. It's like trying to build a house with material that may not be of sufficient quality to guarantee that the house will not fall down. This reality makes it difficult for an individual to have perfect perception, hence the power of the team where everyone is smarter than anyone. This is why the mechanism that feeds your brain must be working properly. Everything that will ever get into your brain must enter by one of the many aspects of perceiving. Physical routes such as looking, hearing, smelling, touching, get processed by one's brain. The optimal brain input is perfect perception. This point needs to be repeated many times. The optimal brain input is perfect perception. Perception that maximizes observational intelligence. That is the ability to perceive free from bias, filtered input, or blocked information. Since perception is reality, if your reality is not consistent with the truths of nature or societal norms, then, as they say, you are playing with a poorly stacked deck of cards and have no chance of winning. In your conscious mind, it is important that you attempt to visualize or see the problem as a picture. It is really the only effective way to get the aspects of the problem into your subconscious. This visualization process allows your brain to fill in the blanks between what you think that you know and helps to ask for what more you may need to know. The visualization process allows the brain to construct elements of the solution that words alone cannot remotely approximate. This technique was used extensively by Albert Einstein, as he was able to visualize in his head the behaviors of light. These thought experiments lead to his theory of relativity. If you are unable to visualize, then your ability to create will be severely limited. To solve problems, your subconscious predominantly works with your understanding, and just not with the factual stuff you know. Your success will be based on how much you understand and not on how much you know. Knowledge is like the numerical elements in a spreadsheet, and understanding is like the algorithms. You enter numbers into the various boxes in your spreadsheet, and the algorithms in your spreadsheet calculate the output or outcomes. Becoming smarter is the equivalent of having more algorithms, and that's how you become smarter. You learn how these algorithms can interact with one another to form more complex and capable algorithms. These algorithms are what some refer to as neural networks. Understanding something is equivalent to creating an algorithm for it. It explains how the knowledge that you have is related, and what understanding can be gleaned from it. The first spreadsheet was called VisiCalc, the emphasis being visual calculator. So imagine then that your subconscious is a massive spreadsheet filled with data, or the facts that we know. Then understanding is all of the algorithms we know. If a formula or algorithm is wrong, then you will never ever get the right answer. That is why you need to know whether or not your understanding or algorithms are correct. Unless your mind can visualize the problem to be solved, any other input will be too abstract and not easily processable. It is important for your brain to understand what the endpoint or answer needs to be, if it is going to work out the journey or steps to get you there. The vision of a man landing on the moon and returning safely to Earth was all that the conscious minds of NASA required from President Kennedy to start the moon project. The subconscious minds of the many working on the problem for the next 8 years filled in the additional 96% of the technology required. The visions of a rocket engine, spacecraft, spacesuit, were one of millions of imaginable components that were required to carry out the successful moon mission. Another useful process is called meditation, and that allows for a periodic flow between one's conscious and subconscious mind to provide course corrections on the way to your destination. Your destination being the answer or solution to your problem. The environment that you find yourself in can either facilitate the solution process or inhibit it. This is why think tanks like Apple, Google, and SpaceX all go out of their way to make an environment that supports curiosity, imagination, creativity, and innovation. People's imagination get activated by being surrounded by interesting things that might trigger an idea. The environment is extremely important, so do not underestimate its value. So don't stick your employees in an open room with stark furniture and expect them to be motivated. You should also be comfortably warm, as you want adequate blood flow to your brain, as it requires 25% of the body's oxygen intake to work properly. If your head is cold, then the blood vessels constrict, thus lowering the amount of oxygen to your brain. This is why you see so many thinkers with a hat. It works, so try it out. If you don't think that the ability to visualize something is essential, then try to imagine something without visualizing it. I don't even know how that would be possible. The discovery chain to valuable innovation starts with curiosity, which manifests itself as imagination. Imagination is a process directed by your conscious mind. With imagination, you can construct in your mind almost anything. These effective constructs manifest themselves as creativity. The implementation of creativity, which means actually doing something, results in innovation. Just make sure that the innovation is valuable and the path is chosen not because you can, but because it will lead to valuable endpoints. Too many useless things are invented just because they can be. It's about the saying, doing the right things right. Before you choose your direction, begin with the end in mind. It is the reward of the destination that is valuable. You need to choose or develop the most cost-effective route and overcome any intellectual problems to reach the destination. The cost of the journey versus the value of reaching your destination must be constantly monitored, so that you don't spend many billions to make a few million. You need to assume the responsibility that the investment will have a positive return on the investment. Too often we see public money having spent billions for little or no return, because some agency could, and not because it would do any good. Choose an environment that allows you to focus with a minimal amount of distraction. Be rested. Be physically comfortable. Realize the power of your subconscious and how to use it properly to get to your desired destination. Remember, groups working together can identify individual faulty understanding and help to ensure that misunderstanding does not derail your journey to your destination. All of you are smarter than any of you. That's why teams are so effective. Look after the needs of your conscious and subconscious parts of your mind, and they will be better able to facilitate the outcomes you need.